Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is my podcast, the P.O.C, that is the pattern of conduct, in reference to the public entity that is the state of California that is engaged in a criminal system that is federal group stalking and monitoring, that is monitoring with communication devices in concert with the people of the state of California. And this is documentation as to that the state's pattern of conduct, which is how you would document any stalker. The state of California is stalking. It's engaged in what is group stalking, and it is doing so in concert with the very people that incorporate the state. It is a ceaseless system. It is an intentional and malicious criminal system where they are monitoring with communication devices, and I am honing in on what is the state's pattern of conduct of stalking with light. The state is stalking with light directly through what I have documented in pictures and video, and that which I have already published in substantial documentation that is already up on YouTube, where even my documentation is isolated by venue and organized by date as well, where I am speaking to that which is a light source that remains directly over me at all times of the day. That is in direct conflict with the behavior of the sun. Let alone, this is not documentation seeking to establish that this is not the sun. It is a scientific fact that this is not the sun, and where the actual physical sun is located in the sky at the time of day, et cetera, will remain no mystery in the form of a federal court. And I continue to reiterate that because that is the fact. This is documentation establishing and revealing the fact of the state of California engaging with stalking with light, which is the first element, first of all, for criminal monitoring with via communication devices. And it is monitoring on a massive scale in concert with the people of the state of California. And this is why you stalk with a light source in the sky that is behaving in no manner even similar or analogous remotely in any way with the actual sun, which, by the way, is at no time ever physically present over HOLT Boulevard or any of the venues that I have isolated for purposes of documentation of what is federal group stalking and monitoring that is engaged in on a ceaseless basis, intentionally and maliciously, by the state that is acting directly by being present, stalking, and monitoring via planes, helicopters, police, fire, and ambulance, and vicariously through the people of the state of California. And so this is documentation that is honing in on, that is providing extra context, that is expounding upon, breaking down literally moment by moment as I am engaged in just living, moving everywhere that I go. And this light source, this is the state that is stalking. The state's pattern of conduct of stalking is already established. I am showing how the state is. I am literally breaking down incrementally how the state is stalking with a light source. And it's doing so because it's monitoring in direct violation of 18 U.S.C. Section 42A. And this is criminal activity by a state, a public entity, in concert with the people of that state. This is an unprecedented level of criminal activity, threatening at an unprecedented level as well, that which has never been addressed by federal legislation. So that is the purpose of my documentation, and this is what my images and videos that are time-stamped and shared on the Google Drive, that is a more precise manner of witnessing what it is I'm documenting. Even the names of the videos and the screenshots and the images, understand the computer itself, the Google, they itemize it by the title in front of the timestamp. So it'll be separated. It may be separated by what is categorized by video, VID, or images, IMG, or screenshot. Understand that it is most precise and you're witnessing it more accurately when you are looking at it, not by type, where it's organizing it by images and then it goes to the videos. Look at it by the timestamp. So if you can organize it that way, and you're looking at it based on the time, minute by minute, and that is the significance. I'm taking pictures, I'm taking screenshots, I'm taking videos, moment by moment, in addition to that, which you are listening as I am engaged in real-time documentation on my podcast, okay? And this is how you are witnessing what the state is engaged in, and this is serving not only for purposes of prosecution of a public entity engaged in criminal conduct, which has never been addressed by federal legislation. It is also for purposes of a prescription. This is highly demented criminal conduct, malicious in every method employed by the people of the state and by the public entity that is sanctioning this criminal conduct, that is operating this criminal system. And understand that stalking with light, that third parties and the state itself directly and vicariously, okay, the entity engages in it by a fake sun, because this is not the sun, this is an artificial light source that remains hovering over me. but the third parties engage in the same stalking conduct and surrounding with light. It is equally demented. I am revealing that which is of a psychopath, and this is group conduct, okay? So this is revealing what is a matter of seriously demented conduct that is entirely malicious, and it is inherent to the pattern of conduct. And also understand, while the state is directly and vicariously, through the people of the state of California, they represent the vicarious aspect of that entity that is stalking with light. They are intentionally and routinely and repeatedly and systematically and maliciously molesting with light, touching with light, violating the person over and over again with light, while, mind you, they are monitoring that target individual. So they are not only monitoring me, they are monitoring my documentation. They are aware of the fact that their criminal activity is being documented. They are aware of the fact that their license plates are being recited, that I am speaking to real-time criminal activity while they are engaged in that ongoing violation of the person, okay? Touching with light, or touching with your hand, or touching with any instrument attached, touching with in any manner serving a criminal purpose is equally violent conduct. It is that which is engaged in by an expansive group together for a criminal purpose, and it is equally violating the person. And this is an ongoing routine inherent to, necessary to the criminal monitoring conduct. And so this is not only speaking to that which is criminal monitoring, it is speaking to that which is sexual violence. And this is inherent to the state's pattern of conduct. This is that which is facilitated and sanctioned by the state, and vice versa. The people of the state of California are facilitating a public entity's ability to violate the targeted individual, to monitor that targeted individual, an American citizen. All right, this is violation of human rights. This is violation of constitutional rights. And this is which is highly demented conduct that is shared by a group that has every intention, that is equally invested in seeking to conceal this criminal system. And this is what my documentation is speaking to. This is the aspect that I'm focused on. All elements remain present. The elements for criminal monitoring remain, all three, at all times. Light activity, any manner of light creation, light activity. Activity, which is a term of art for speaking to anything you can hear, anything you can see, anything you can feel. So audible activity, visual activity, and light activity, the creation of light, remaining with light, light all around the surfaces, all around, that's visual activity, visible activity. Understand that. So, and then the other aspect of activity, the second element is sensational activity. This is rumbling, vibration, shaking, anything you can feel. The third element for criminal monitoring via communication devices is relevant positioning, and that is the group stalking conduct. The state maintaining group presence directly by planes and helicopters, police, fire, and ambulance, and vicariously through the very people of the state of California. And this is the group stalking system. And this is documentation that is speaking to that ongoing pattern of conduct, but it is also providing more context. I am honing in on, focused on, and providing real-time emphasis on the state's pattern of conduct, which is stalking with light, all right, which the state does, I'm showing through its fake sun and through the impossible light activity, which is inherent to everywhere that you go, and it's coinciding with the people of the state of California who are present while this impossible light activity is ongoing. That's a pattern, while third parties are present, right? So this is concerted conduct, all right? So this is P.O.C. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. All right, that is 5PNV72. Oh, I can't really see that one. Let's get this one. 8UTH217. All of them touching and remaining in line in relevant position via traffic, and they are all on the traffic cameras at Plum and Holt and at Euclid and Holt Avenue. This is federal group stalking and monitoring on camera while I am providing supplemental documentation of that criminal system in operation. Monitoring in the same fashion as I am inside of 150 East Holt, where the state's fake sun, that is the light source, was directly over that venue, moving steadily east, remaining directly over me as the state is engaged in direct and vicarious group presence for purposes of criminal monitoring with communication devices. That's what this documentation is. That's what the state is engaged in. And this is why the state is engaged in what is clearly evidenced as stalking with a light source. That is an artificial light source remaining in the sky that is supposed to be representing the sun, which is in no way the sun whatsoever. And so I'm going to document these third-party group stalkers. 6FTZ318, 6LKV785, 73916V1, 8EKP068, 7N WW816, 7LHT638, 7GWU419, 94211W1, 7XZF080 00760P2. That is Swiss, or SWSS, excuse me. That is 5ZVR, not 79. I can't really see that one that clearly. This is Oak Harbor Freight Lines driving west right now on Holt Boulevard, 5STD927, 8LTN665. RCA, truck number RA204, driving west on Holt Boulevard, approaching Plum right now. It is currently 10:28 a.m. All of them crossing path, present under the state's light source while it is stalking directly, and they are stalking vicariously. 6YTF909, male in a Lancer, in the driveway, focused on his phone. No traffic obstructing him. He's monitoring. 6RQA987, 7LLM. 453, group stalking, impossible light activity while they are all present, remaining in the path. And this is third parties at B&G Plaza. Understand they are monitoring while they're on the clock at work. They're monitoring while they are in the drive-thru ordering food. They're monitoring while they're driving through the plaza. 6LTD979. And this is ongoing P.O.C. That's license 7XJJ845. The state flying over me as I walk into the SCHIRO'S Liquor located at 410 East Holt Boulevard. State flying directly over me as I am pointing out on the surveillance cameras that UPS is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, stalking with light. And this is its use of hazard lights in relevant position for purposes of crossing path as I approach the venue. 7RGB829, 8JMM947, 4DIF087. 4ETM, I believe. Or you can scratch that. Let's get this one. 8DMG734, 8LHF442. That was 4EMT405. This is, let's see, license plate. That's a third-party group stalker who is showing her crotch, trying to be a distraction and creating audible activity. License 8HKV645, 7DME133. This is P.O.C. And again, the state's fake sun clearly captured on January 17, 2021, remaining over me for hours at the Panda Walk, which I specifically and deliberately documented. This is also more documentation of the same that I've already shown. This is, the same one, 8LHF442, clearly just engaging in patrolling, just drove around, engaging in driving around under the state's light source. That's intentional patrolling conduct. They are one group acting together. The state is acting through XP79044, California 480, I believe 159, using that truck for purposes of criminal monitoring. This is P.O.C. that is 10:31 a.m. And again, 24 hours earlier, where was I at? At Panda Walk, right at Bonita, at the driveway of the Ontario Village Shopping Plaza, 8AYM928, DM89, DM, I guess, okay. 5NH0102, I believe. This is federal group stalking and monitoring, and clear direct evidence of it. 6UZX361, 6ZPX62, I believe, 8TRV927, 8PUC913, 4UQP795, I believe, 8EPU448, referencing Omnitrans cameras who are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. Bus number 1331, license plate 1404991. All right. They are crossing path, creating light activity, state using their presence as a means of touching and molesting with impossible light activity, acting in concert with Penske. That's truck number 302493. That is license plate. Impossible light activity moving on the surfaces as they are intentionally crossing path, acting with Omnitrans and every other third party. That is license plate of Penske 21996T2. This is license plate 8PUC913, crossing path again. 17280T2, 7LRE695, 8SYS236, 7N1708, 8PJC017, 8SIX88. This is 6JD. I'm sorry, I can't see that one that clearly. I can't really see that one that clearly. Let's get this one. This is license plate 7GIJ829. License 6LT0979 is the one that's yelling out of his window. That's a third-party group stalker, hostile to being documented as engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. All right, that is relevant to federal prosecution. That's the state that's hollering out and being hostile to being documented and engaged in criminal activity. That is inherently sexually violent, by the way. 21996T2, same truck, crossing path again, touching again. That's Penske that drove inside of the plaza to drive past again on Holt Boulevard to drive inside of the plaza again at the SCHIRO'S liquor entrance. That is 6GFB921, 8RQF474, 5XFJ161, 5N61670, 8KM747. I can't really see that one that clearly. You're listening to nothing less than or nothing more than the demonic rant of a third-party group stalker who knows that they're being documented because they are one group. She just doesn't have a license plate on. They are one group monitoring together. That is 80248V2, 8RSL317, 88159N1, 82237N2. All right, the state is stalking with a light source in an incredible manner and such a quote-unquote universal manner for purposes of these very people, the people of the state of California, representing one group who are monitoring together, 8MQB252. And this is the ongoing stalking with light while they are touching together, 7UXH166, I believe. That is inherent to their pattern of conduct. They are intentionally present, maintaining that group presence, and they're all touching together while they're monitoring as well. All right, using their company vehicles, using their own individual private vehicles for purposes of criminal monitoring in concert and on behalf of a government. That is also stalking directly in airplanes and helicopters, by police, by ambulance, and by fire, which, by the way, were engaged in routine, continuous pattern of conduct of stalking with their use of sirens and planes and helicopters over the museum as that public entity is fully aware and is stalking and monitoring while I remain at that venue. The state's fake sun over the museum, understand where it is right now, over B&G Plaza at 10:35 a.m. while I remain here, is not only remaining in the same location, and not only that, it is actually behind what is supposed to be the ongoing activity of a sun that is moving east after being directly over me at the museum. This is, I want to note, this is City of Ontario, California license number 40424, truck number 9133. This is the same entity. This is City of Ontario using all of its vehicles, including its dump trucks, for purposes of stalking with activity, audible activity, stalking with light, and stalking by entity, heavily documented specifically on Bonneview Avenue, where they engage in repeatedly crossing paths, just as the same conduct as Bill and Wags. It's intentional conduct. They're monitoring together, 7MAH578. Just want to note that. And on cameras at B&G, you'll just see Penske driving through circles, patrolling repeatedly, crossing path again. All they are doing is monitoring. 7XAB385. That's the conduct of a psychopath, by the way. 6AUD891, literally engaging in that, pacing around you in a circle, doing it in a vehicle. Understand that. That's what the state does by helicopter. That's what the state does by its airplanes, flying repeatedly over. They're pacing back and forth. That's monitoring conduct. It is also demonic. Okay, that's that highly peculiar, demented conduct. It is demonic. It is for purposes of monitoring, and this is an entirely satanic system that I'm documenting and exposing. This is license plate 8LPD860 78740W2 4HZY811 7BHE335 7K53 689, I believe, 4SVZ 361 6YKJ 386. Let's see, 48860R1, California license number 232844, I believe. That looks like Foam Zone Inc. using that truck as a means of crossing path creating light activity under the state's light source. You're crossing path, you're creating light activity. That's why the state concentrates light, and engaging in creating visible and audible activity, stalking with the rest of the third-party group stalkers. 8PJC 552, in case I didn't read that one. 4CSJ 917, 6UBN 693, 7KFC 117, excuse me, 6TFA 813, 6TPY 885, 8LEW 639, 7XHF 023, 6CSU 114, 317LUN, 8KZY 595, 3LYP, I can't really see the rest of that one, 4S83000, I believe. Impossible light activity as this group stalker 8HEJ354 drives out of the parking lot, the driveway of B&G Plaza. That's the impossible light activity. 6DHV734, they're all touching. State's fake sun, also impossible light activity planted over the venue. 8DJV477. And again, the ongoing group stalker that is acting directly by fire and police at the same street where the state's fake sun is. That's the state acting directly. That's the state acting vicariously. Ontario Police Vehicle number 1011, acting with 6LBB J0, I can't really see that one, 8PUN 125, 8DGH 794, 8TWW 944, 6TWS 312, all of them group stalking together. All right, this is loitering at the traffic light, okay? That's the fire department. That's the state directly. Ontario Police, they are highly demented psychopath stalkers acting directly right now. The state flying over by planes and helicopters, that's the same entity acting directly. All right, and they will be seen driving west on Holt Boulevard, approaching the traffic cameras at Plum, with every other group stalker, and turning north onto Plum Avenue. Understand they are acting in concert with every other third-party group stalker that I am documenting, including this demented psychopath that is also a sex offender. Understand, creating audible activity under the state's fake sun with 8FDF135, this one that's ranting in the background, intentional activity creation. They are one entity acting together, one. And it is pathetic. So it is currently 10:40 a.m. and you just have group stalkers that are just crowding around watching their own prosecution. Because that's exactly what it is. They have, it is 10:40 a.m., so I want to focus on the documentation. The documentation that I gathered just 24 hours earlier, not only is it that which is in conflict with everything else that I've already documented. All right, these group stalkers are crossing path where the state's fake sun is here and not over Panda Walk like it was. Clearly documented. 50765X2. 7YDS210. 8BZL842. 7PBD598. 8GME965, 8PMR768, 5SFM279, 87565Y1, 7HSK, 815, 7FYC244, 8CYB177, 65195, 64, 6AFA288, 5JRB740. 99156R1, 236D0Y2, 8LCC543, 8FUR062, 8BPT858, 8CFX516. All right, being over Panda Walk and remaining for hours, not only is that in direct conflict with literally, as I captured it, moving in the parking lot to the opposite side of what was San Antonio and B Street after remaining for a prolonged period, then you have it moving down the street, and that's clearly captured, and that is in no way whatsoever being over Panda Walk, not even in that direction as I move from that location and take a picture of the area of Panda Walk, even the sky above Panda Walk, and this is clearly the absence of that light source, which is supposed to be the sun. It is captured directly in front of me as I am traveling east on Holt Boulevard. This is yet another day of the same ZEMPR5 of the state's light source remaining at the clear opposite end of the street, nowhere near Stater Brothers, nowhere near Panda Walk, and this is that which is in 76425X2. This is that which is in conformity to everything that I have already documented. This is providing additional context as I'm honing in on the state stalking with light, okay, and the significance of that. 6H63469 is with all that group of motorcycles. Those are demons using their motorcycles as a means of creating audible activity. 7DRL391 with them, 5FAV360 with them, 1215, 3S2 with them, 6FHB789 I believe, 03410K2, 8HLZ538, 2205, J1, Brink Security 276341, 8TWU732, all of them one group acting together, okay? All of them touching together, creating activity together, present together, under the incredible circumstance of a fake sun, all right? 5EQG933. That is P.O.C. And like I was stating, it's 10:43 a.m. And that is video of the state's fake sun clearly present. We're 6NRD 738's crossing path, 7XNV 428's crossing path. This is 5UAE 377, 7MYM 981, 8ELX 942, 8LJU 805. 8EBY 907, 5FTG 117, Splash using its truck 616 31W1.
All these crazy amounts all the way down there. I shared right away. All
7 VSM
so your children are
758.
without any
And let me also give you some more context. This group stalker in the background that's ranting, that's a demonic rant. It's just audible activity. License 55887H1. This is the same group stalker referenced at Wells Fargo as I was at Ontario Town Square, and the state was flying over in circles over the Wells Fargo under the state's fake sun. She's documented on cameras there as well. It's P.O.C. She's just stalking and stalking with activity as well. 8SXR068.
I told them to write that down on breaking news. Channel 5 today.
This is license plate 7VC169. 7VZC, sorry, 169. 8PMK073. This is NBM. I can't really see that one. 8RWY 9163, I believe. 7104 8D2. 6HPV 288. 4, I can't really see that one. 7KKP 13. 7KKR 35. This is 4VGZ2. I can't really see that one that clearly. It's currently 10:46 a.m. And the state's fake sun remaining here over the B&G Plaza because this is where I'm remaining. 4SGD129. 8GQH019. 5JVD 928. 35243B3 USPS engaged in the same exact pattern of conduct. 4683C2 6878 9D2. This is RAI 5965. Same P.O.C. All of them touching. I've already documented this here. 8PBX 615, I believe. Substantially similar. All right, and this whole buildup of traffic, this heavy traffic that's remaining on Holt Boulevard, it's relevant positioning, it's group stalking, okay? It's P.O.C. While, mind you, the state's fake sun is remaining present, while all of this impossible light activity, while 7GC111 is crossing paths with every other third party in their own vehicles, private vehicles, and in their company vehicles, they're monitoring, and they're sex offenders. That's what I'm documenting. 7PYZ 756 4955 1A3 5FQL 012. Same exact pattern of conduct. All right. This is the vicarious aspect of that entity that is group stalking and monitoring, and sexual violence is inherent to that P.O.C. This is 8NQW223, 8RKE767, 7XRN208, 5HGH551, 8E87437, 94908B3. 907 52V2 8LSC426 8V7 0206. Fontana Towing, California license number 533564. Using their vehicle as a means of federal group stalking and monitoring. Let's see. It is currently 10:49 a.m. License 8AES 095. License 572699. 575699. Excuse me. Seven GIL 868. 7ELZ 163. 7MXZ 931. 8BKV 525. 4UXX 181. 8TAR 162. 23RUS 8HTG 632, 6XRS 158, 7WTB 326, 7XWY 862, I believe, 8PIL 170, substantially similar, 2FWK 563, I think, 8HDE 477, 8POE 827, Ontario Police group stalking with the rest of the third parties driving west on Plum, 8BKG 530, BB70V66, a paper plate. That's Ontario Police vehicle number 1001. That's the state acting directly. These are all the state. This is the same entity acting vicariously. License plate 7XXJ136. 7EZ291. I can't really see that one that clearly. 8EST 139 26641P2. Okay, I don't want to miss these. Let's get PST. That's all there is on that license plate. Like you're concerned about my safety, group stalkers. 7LAH 957. This is 5ZCP 617. And let's see. (70515T2) BH40A48. That's a paper plate. Just exited the driveway of B&G Plaza. 93257G2. Touching with impossible light activity as they're driving by using their company vehicles. This is why it is indiscriminate. Doesn't matter what you're driving or who you're working with. These are the companies, these are the institutions, and these are the individuals, and this is the public entity that's going to be federally prosecuted. It's sexual violence while they're touching and stalking, and they have an issue with that. 9467 94670D2. That's ongoing audible activity. Everything that you're hearing is deliberate in the environment where the public entity is monitoring. They are all group stalking. Walking their dog, they're maintaining presence. Build up in traffic, they're group stalking, maintaining presence, and creating light activity using their vehicles. And also under the state's concentrated light source on this area, they're creating ongoing light activity and audible activity, right? While the state is also stalking directly by planes and helicopters. And amplifying activity 5 VCV 223, 5 PTY 935, 7 PO 1045, 7 ZGK 007, 5936, 6 F2, 6 XUY 283, 39 RZ, that's a handicap, 444 B6 J2, 7 YMU 857, 5 JQU 986, 3885, 8 B3, 7 DSW 323, 7XNN 819, 7 JVG 178, 8 MCRO 56, 6 YWY 228, I believe, 8 BSU 984, AW35S42, that's a paper plate on a Kia that just exited the B&G Plaza, 8 MWL 287. License 13121S1. Using their truck as a means of federal group stalking and monitoring. Truck number 4043 on the front of it, California, U.S. dot number 151288, California 989. That's safety clean, all right, in relevant position, using that vehicle as a means of federal group stalking and monitoring, sexual violence in that company vehicle. That's attributed to that company. That's how you analyze that. That's 2121083. Okay, communication device in hand while they're driving by crossing path. All right, this is P.O.C, nothing less. This is license. Oh, and that safety clean, creating light activity as well. Just like every other third party, I'm just making sure I'm pointing out all the elements that they're engaged in. 8T, oh, and the paper. Oh, third parties crack me up sometimes, sorry. Paper plate on the front, license plate shown on the back. The paper plate is criminal obstruction. They're just trying to conceal their license plate. BH56A02. 5 RXN376. 4 FP092 or substantially similar. 7 YUS 011. Oh boy. The posture of the defeated is ultimately defeated. It is so pathetic. Oh my gosh. 8 FTP 978. 8 THE 215. Pertec. Let me see. I don't see California license number. Let me get this license. 50244M2. No license plate on that black Mercedes-Benz. Not a coincidence. BUCKY 94. 5, I believe. Can't really see that one that clearly. This is Pertec, PIRTEK. No front license plate on this business vehicle, not a coincidence. License plate on the back is 69010K2. AW35S42, that's a paper plate. 6 ZNG 111, 8 KLN 721. 7V WT 903. 23600Y2. 7 ZQL. I can't really see the rest of them. Let me make sure I read this plate correctly. 23600Y2. Yeah, that's correct. Exiting B&G Plaza now. Yeah. I don't see a California license number on this Pertec vehicle. 12502. W2. 6C5274, I believe. Let's get this one. 4N W. Oh, I can't really see that plate. Understand engagement in any of the criminal elements while you are touching any. That is a state creating light, third party touching you with light, that's all touching together. Understand that. So third party speeding off while they're creating substantial audible activity is touching with 8SPE 391, enabling that. This is monitoring, group stalking monitoring, and 7SLS 182 is touching while that third party is creating audible activity, and the state is molesting. 8JLJU006, I can't really see that one. The state is creating this light, concentrating, stalking with a fake sun. That is molestation that they're all engaged in together. All right. 6XDJ 665, I can't really see that one. 7YYK446. 7BJG 276. 78HR172. 92586 T2. That honking of the horn is stalking with activity, occurring with simultaneity to my looking in another direction, touching my face. That's stalking with activity. That's the demonic activity. They are built up in traffic. They're sitting around at the bus stop. All they are doing is monitoring. They are entirely focused on me, and the environment is also demonstrating that. 08465N2. Service Solutions Group, using their vehicle for purposes of criminal monitoring. Monitoring with communication devices. Let me get this license. 93200F1. 5338OM2. BH55T08, that's the paper plate. 7AXB065. 8LVF383. 8SCV291, D033, WO, 8W63951, 48425N1, 31133N2. It is currently 10:59 a.m. BSLL534. 6XXU223, 5MDB758, 7CJ995, substantially similar, 8UJB2721, I think. Omnitrans, license 1370398, bus number 1327. It is currently, that's 11 a.m. as Omnitrans is present at bus stop number, this is Route 61 going eastbound, number 1327 at 11 a.m. 8LXS394. It is 11:01 a.m. All right, I did take a picture of what is at 11 a.m., the state's fake sun, the light source for criminal monitoring, in concert with the people of the state of California, remaining in the exact same location, directly over the B&G Plaza, directly behind me where I am sitting at the specific bench behind where I am sitting. And so I took a picture of that, and I also took a picture of what is HOLT Boulevard, aiming it east down that street where there is no sun in the sky whatsoever over there, where it remained directly over me at Panda Walk. Okay, if that's the sun, then I should be able to capture a picture of it over that building directly squarely above me, as it was clearly captured in picture after picture and video. Okay, and that is in no way possible to be captured over Panda Walk if it is in fact the sun that's remaining directly above B&G Plaza right now, in alignment to where the very same exact bench where I am sitting at this address, which is located at 420 East HOLT Boulevard, and B&G Plaza is not closed, contrary to what Google represents on the internet. The nearest address, which is referenced, which is also the venue that I frequent specifically, is SCHIRO'S Liquor, located at 410 East HOLT Boulevard, inside of the same plaza that is open, where they are all in relevant position, monitoring with communication devices, both inside and around, on Transit, on HOLT Boulevard, on Sultana, on Plum, on Euclid, on this, what is the back street? Emporia, they're all in relevant positions. This is why the state is concentrating light. That's why the state was concentrating light over me at Panda Walk at Bonita yesterday, at that angle, that aspect of that parking lot of Ontario Village. This is why, because the people of the state of California are monitoring, and this is my documentation of the people of the state of California, 5FV. 63, I can't really see that one, C1U7841, monitoring with the state through NO75F1, 7BUW, 876, 8MUZ, 913, 93XD, that's a handicap plate, 7E, 7M, 838, 8HZG, 770, okay? This is why the state is concentrating light. This is why you utilize something as a fake sun. It's serving a criminal purpose, but it is also highly demonstrating that which is that of a psychopath, okay? 8TYJ203, monitoring, engaging in the identical behavioral pattern. This is the vicarious presence, and the state is present. Understand, a fake sun is state action. The police present, AMR, fire departments passing, state flying over me by plane and helicopter, that's state action. Amplification of audible activity, that is state action. 7RZT901, and 8H26045, 43245B2, monitoring with the state, all right? That's P.O.C, and they are maintaining presence on this street at Holt Boulevard, group stalking. That's all they're doing. That's all the state is doing. This is why you go through the unheard of, unprecedented length of placing a fake sun, and then clearly just keeping that light source over everywhere you go. Okay, and then while you remain for hours at one location, which is clearly and irreducibly seen in evidence, then you try to act like later it's setting, like this light source is setting. It's not setting, it's remaining. It's remaining wherever it is that the targeted individual is located, okay? There is no migration east and west. The state is stalking with a light source because 6UFV499 and 7ROW672 N432E0. It's 4XOW495. 6NEY024. 33864C2. 6VFY993. 7BAR418. 7KAG293. All of them are monitoring with communication devices under this light source, intentionally creating activity as well while they're doing so. All right. So there is no claim of ignorance. What you claim to know or what you claim to be doing is legally irrelevant. Under the state's light source that it has placed here, which is state action, they're creating light activity. They're creating audible activity. They are in relevant position. They are engaged in the criminal elements of monitoring. That's federal prosecution right there. All right. But I am showing not only that, I am showing how it is an entirely malicious system that's in operation, using their individual private vehicles, using their company vehicles. You could be driving whatever. That company is going to be founded under federal law as a sex offender, a sex offending company, where a public entity is operating this sort of criminal system of monitoring an American citizen, because this is the form under which a public entity engages in that criminal conduct. So you're going to be found under federal prosecution for that purpose. The state acts through the institutions, through the companies, through the individuals. The state acts through that very presence that is maintained. This is how it engages in that criminal system, including the unheard of, egregious act of criminal obstruction of justice. Let me get this group stalker's license plate. This is 7WOL002, including the egregious criminal conduct of criminal obstruction of justice, wherein the courts, using medical, quote unquote, medical professionals, they are a stain, okay, to the medical profession. They are a disgrace to the medical profession, engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, and the pattern of conduct of which is criminal obstruction of justice, seeking to criminally defame the targeted individual for purposes of keeping this very system concealed. And that's exactly what I documented. This is exactly why the state engaged in kidnapping and engage in a fictitious prosecution. And that is also, understand, that is directly probative in incriminating every third party that I'm documenting as well. All right, that's why you engage in that criminal conduct. All right, this is that which is the prosecution of the people of the state of California, representing that vicarious entity that is criminally monitoring, that is stalking, that is sexually violating routinely, repeatedly, maliciously, intentionally. Okay, this is ongoing in the pattern of conduct. This is that which they necessarily engage in order to monitor you. All right, and this is while they are engaged in threatening, assault, and battery, while they're engaged in theft of your property. And this is that which is an exceedingly threatening entity engaging in sexually violating you. All right. It doesn't get any more threatening than that. It doesn't get any more psychopath level. That's a psychopath. All right. That is an exceedingly threatening criminal psychopath. All right, that's what this is documentation of, and this is the prosecution of the people of the state of California. This is why the state is stalking with light. And this is evidence, direct evidence of that. There is no whatsoever comparison or analogous position wherever you cannot in any way reconcile the state's fake stun being directly over. And this is just within 24 hours. I have already published all the documentation of the state stalking with this light source in a plethora of venues all over. It's already published on my YouTube page. It's already published on Facebook. Pay attention to my documentation that's already available. I am honing in on what the state is doing, how it's doing it, and why it's doing it, and who it's doing it through, all right? This is the prosecution of what is the people of the state, the vicarious actor, how that entity is engaged in monitoring you systematically, all right? Psychopaths. Understand, the third parties are the personification of that public entity. They are engaged in an identical behavioral pattern, acting in pursuant individually. They're all one group. They're group stalking together, engaging in the identical behavioral pattern, and that is a psychopath, all right? It is a demonic system, and understand that is clinically addressed as psychopath. You would address any other individual. What I am exposing is that which is of a vast group. This is what they're doing in California. All right, it's 11:09 a.m. and that is P.O.C. and that is pictures taken of what is HOLT Boulevard, west of where I was today at Panda Walk at Stater Brothers. It was all over the parking lot. No sun, not even in that direction. The state's fake sun, because it is not the sun, is directly and is remaining over B&G Plaza. While, mind you, traffic is remaining built up on HOLT Boulevard. These are third parties who know they're being documented. This is the state that you hear crying in the background via sirens, stalking, creating lie. Criminal facilitation is what that is. All right, incriminating 5 SKG 142, 8 DDK 475, LILYBUG, 7 GYP 941, 8 NCU 994, 7 CTU 328, 5 KND 859, 2504. 25040U2. Understand that is the exact same pattern of conduct. That's the state stalking directly. They are stalkers engaging in that ongoing creation of audible activity while these third parties that I'm documenting maintain presence. POWRS1 monitoring and siren stop, by the way, after they cross path under the state's fake sun, while it is also impulsive light activity all over the environment, all over the street while they're crossing path. Okay, 7X 13113, monitoring with the state, who just engaged in providing sirens and lights for all of these group stalkers to monitor. WITH, WDJ. All right, all that is incriminating all of them. It's one group together monitoring. This is the same thing when the state is flying over repeatedly in its planes and helicopters. 8HVR 565 6ENM 403. It is the ongoing identification of how the group operates together. 4VAG 901. 7SIT 781, 7BJG 276, 6KVR 6KRV 463, and that's all that is. That's called POC. It is 11:11 a.m. State flying over by plane, creating amplified audible activity because it's flying at a higher elevation. The state's playing a tape of a sound of plane activity that's the same as sirens. 8F 65660. I can't really see that one. It's a white Chevrolet. He literally drove out of the plaza on my left and drove into the plaza on my right, patrolling. 8 CRP 135. 6H JT looks like 141. 6H JT 141. Correct. It is 11:12 a.m. and this is ongoing documentation. I will go ahead and take another picture because this is that irreducible proof, which I just love. It gives me tingles. I already won, but this is literally making a champion stomp around. PRSP 8JP 5XLL 545 7BXH 476. 6WER 655. Understand this is a psychopath. 8PEK 447. Psychopath. 8LQS 713. Psychopath. 8KHC 475. Psychopath. All right. Psychopath driving the Swift Trek US.054283. All right. Number 180668 on the side of that truck. Psychopath. Group stalking. Psychopath license 1 MJD. Psychopath. Sex offender. Stalker 5WRR230. Psychopath. 7K RK514. 8 CPU 444. 6U1548. All right? Psychopaths engaging in this criminal system together. All of them maintaining presence under a fake sun. They very much know, all right? This is how this system is in operation. This is how the government is monitoring American citizens. And it's doing it through the very people of the state of California who are engaged in what is that of a psychopath altogether. Okay, all together in this shameful criminal system of monitoring for no reason, just targeting American citizens, all right? And it's demonic conduct, it's criminal. 96534C2, all right? This is not only prosecution, it's prescription. 7UUR110, psychopath. 8 KSA 173, psychopath. 7 CVC 321, psychopath, sex offender. SANDOW, psychopath, sex offender. 7WLN 840, 8MVL 108, psychopath, sex offender, stalker, criminal. No exaggeration. I don't have to make it up. I've already shown you the evidence. The facts speak for themselves. All right, that's P.O.C. And I will go ahead and capture again. It's 11:14 a.m. The state's fake sun, which is nowhere even in the direction of what is west of this location on Holt Boulevard, where the state's fake sun was clearly captured in video after video and picture after picture, remaining over me and then moving all about while I move in the parking lot of the Ontario Village Shopping Plaza. No, the state's fake sun is remaining right here at 420 East Holt Boulevard. All right, and not only that, remaining for hours. You got group stalkers sitting up in her car. I'm gonna get all of them, but I'm just gonna get this one right now who's sitting in her car right behind me, 8EWX994. And this is P.O.C., all right? 11:14 a.m. All right, license 5KFP336. That is 7LXW527, loitering in relevant position in the front of the store as the state's fake sun literally captured in another video, engaged in real-time movement from over me at the bus stop to over the store where I just completed a purchase at SCHIRO'S Liquor. 97658Z1, loitering in relevant position. 8SKM671, 7HCM281, 7LJT583, 8DJY720. Third parties in relevant position. And this one sitting in her car that is maintaining relevant position. Understand they are on cameras inside of the plaza, lining up outside of businesses. They are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. There is no cause of any business or no claim of COVID-19 whereby the elements of criminal monitoring are in any way superseded whatsoever. It is a means, it is the form under which that public entity is monitoring you. And the state is literally stalking with a light source because that's what's ongoing. 00984K1, 6CTW835. 8FED335, AU86R08, 8MXT291, BG92T09. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of what is behind the bus stop where I was sitting, and I captured the state's fake sun directly behind me as I faced what was south. So now I'm south of that bus stop seat and that bus stop bench, and I am standing in the parking lot, and I'm going to take a picture of what is the state's absence of its light source as it moved to SCHIRO'S Liquor where I was, and it's going to move back as I go back to the same location on the bench. It's 11:45 a.m. Omnitrans license 1545833. Moments after AMR sounds their sirens at the corner of Sultana and Holt Boulevard. Crossing path, the same AMR vehicle number 12277. Sound sirens, that's audible activity under the state's fake sun, which is remaining over where I'm sitting at the bench. And Omnitrans cameras also capturing that as it's driving eastbound, AMR driving westbound, creating that audible activity. Also license plate 8LSV300, creating audible activity 7LS765, crossing path. This is ongoing P.O.C. as I remain at the same bus stop. And the ongoing P.O.C. stalking via traffic in the same way that Ontario police are present in alignment to me on the sidewalk, intentional relevant positioning, placement while that third party through harassment and threat and intimidation while monitoring, while the state is engaged in real-time monitoring, stalking with its light source, literally moving in above me in the parking lot as I am engaged in movement. That is P.O.C. in the same way that is deliberate placement of the state directly via Ontario Police. Every single third party engaged in that same intentional placement, sounding their sirens, crossing path, and the light provided by the state that is remaining present. Southwest Airlines, commercial-sized plane flying in front over Ontario Town Square apartment homes in front of me, engaging in that same crossing a path and then turning in the sky in order to avoid being captured on video. This is while I'm sitting at the same location. Impossible light activity as they are crossing path, meaning third parties on Holt Boulevard. This is ongoing P.O.C. It's currently 12:06 p.m. All right, 5RHY 341, 8R33 786, 7YDT 728, 8TRP 275, 6SRY 534, 8MAM 181, 8MLN 125, 8BN 88, I can't really see that one. Excuse me. 7HAH 238, 8CLY 179, 7PZW 232, 7UIW 451. I don't know if I got this one. 6J 69178, and these are third parties that are surrounding at, it's 12:15 p.m. as I leave the bus stop, and the state's light source remaining present over that bus stop as I stand at this current time and engage in movement. The state's light source moving in real time. City of Ontario vehicle in the form of a dumpster truck in relevant position on transit under the same light source. This is positioning as they are engaged in monitoring, group stalking and monitoring in all manner, maintaining presence while the state is stalking with its light source and flying over by aircraft. It's 12:15 p.m. That is the state flying over by plane. Southwest Airline hovering over what is a ski rink. Right now that is flying east. Behind me. Transit is behind me, and Holt Boulevard is right here in front of me. So actually I'm facing what is west as I'm standing at Plum and Holt. So the state is flying to my left, which is south of where I'm standing, in a commercial plane hovering over the ski rink. The state is engaged in direct and vicarious group stalking. Ontario Police again, 1001, patrolling up and down the street. AMR patrolling up and down the street. The fire truck, that's the state acting directly, engaging in patrolling up and down the street. That's the state that's flying over directly, and this is vicarious presence, 3TOP 688. And it is 12:16 p.m. while I remain here, and I will go ahead and capture the state's light source as it is now at this location where I stand. License 253MR. All right, so I'm going to document the third parties. They are engaged in P.O.C. like every other third party and stalking with activity even in the drive-through. They are in relevant position engaged in the same exact behavioral pattern, closing their doors while they're in the drive-through as I'm in operation of my communication device. Okay, so I think I already said 5PZW 232. I said 7UIW 451. This is license plate 8TML 090, and this is the City of Ontario dumpster truck. This is P.O.C. This is license plate crossing path as I walk toward this corner. 8UDD 091. Dumpster truck number, California license, same one, 40424, vehicle number 9133, 1514628. 6CTW 835, 8KCK 913. That is the state that is flying over in another commercial airplane. It is 5WSB 144, and again the state is hovering over this the railroad track which is along Emporia, so that's to my right as I'm walking along Transit behind the B&G Plaza, capturing the license plates of third parties who surround in relevant position. That's the state acting directly in the planes, stalking, and stalking with light. 4VNA 108, 5VXH083, ZYGF 059, sitting in their car in relevant position, and it is 12:19 p.m. so I want to capture what is movement of the light. I am facing the skating rink along Transit, and this is, I believe the address is 201 Transit Boulevard, or Plum. It's at Plum in Transit, and this is the state's light source at 12:19 p.m. directly above me as I am facing it. Real-time movement as I move from Plum, by the way. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, license plate 5AWE402 8NTS 515. 8MAF 571, and these are third parties at or around the in relevant position where I remained at the B&G Plaza. All of them engaged in monitoring with the state, present in all forms, by the way, directly. And this is third party presence. This is the vicarious presence engaged in group stalking with that state. 8SZN938, 8KPB, 8. That is 8KPB. 884, 5XUZ 610, 7TNZ 903, 0915 1N1, 6RZV 447, TFAM 4EV, BKRF 293, 7JXH973, 5KPZ010, 6NXF411, 7END337, 7RKJ581, 8PCH 341, 8KHC475, 6ZYA519, 8MZJ976, 7ZYN385, 5WRN502, 7UVK689, CMV3328, that's a Georgia plate. It's 12:23 p.m. I'm going to capture the state's fake sun in the same position where I was earlier, it moving up and down the street. All right, state's fake sun moving to the opposite side of the building as I walk west back up toward Holt Boulevard, just going to the opposite side of the same building, 8F06560, state's light source at the same location it was hours before when I went to B&G Plaza, and then remaining above me as I go back to sit down at the bus stop, where it remained directly above me at that bench at the bus stop of Omnitrans, 8EHC841. All right, that's P.O.C, which I did capture. I'm also taking pictures of what is Holt Boulevard West, where the state's fake sun was directly over me at Panda Walk, Stater Brothers, Ontario Town Square, supposedly over the library at the entrance of the same time also, by the way. Nowhere in that direction, directly above me at the B&G Plaza where I remain, because the state is engaged in monitoring. And stalking with light, stalking vicariously through the people of the state of California, stalking directly by planes and police, fire, and ambulance. 4GLW 459-840WR, that's a handicap plate. That is P.O.C. 12:33 p.m. taking a few steps and capturing what is the same stalker, vicariously acting, City of Ontario. Perfect to capture in that picture while the state's fake sun is moving in real time. This third party is also present intentionally, 1459992, vehicle number 4158, inside of Andy's Burgers drive-through in relevant position for purposes of criminal monitoring while the state is stalking with light. POC. And that is what I captured in pictures as I just take a picture of what's behind me, take video of what's behind me, where moments as I just take a few steps forward and the state's light source is directly above me, not in the same location where it was seconds earlier. Okay, and that is clearly shown in the pictures and in the video. That is federal group stalking and monitoring. Third parties are intentionally present, and this is documentation of that. Central to that system of maintaining intentional presence as a group, maintaining activity as a group, while the state stalks with light, and the state acts directly and vicariously with that stalking with light. Third parties engaging in that same conduct. License plate 8 PUH 4 through 9. That is P.O.C. It's 12:34 p.m. 8 KKF 463, 8 PUH 439, 5 JAM 188, 8 THB 583, 5 FWU 477, 6 AAF 738, 8 KZJ 755. That third party talking as he's crossing the street at Plum is the creation of audible activity as I'm using my communication device. License 8 SDK 385. So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of what is the street of Plum, where you see the absence of any sun over that street. State aiming its light source directly above me as I sit on the bench, which is in alignment. You can see it through the street, and there is no sun there because I am not there. And again, this is the state's light source. As I face the north from Plum and Holt, and the state engages in migration with its light source hovering above me, which is molestation, while third parties such as 46499H2 act with that entity to monitor and stalk. L1, 6ZXA059, 8KWB224, 7HAH238, crossing path again, 01730T2, 6KLE355, 6KEL141, I believe, 4E73840, 8FGO748, that's 8FGD748, 8E88374, 8LXS36, I believe. That is 7LS or 7L2S765. I can't really see that one. City of Ontario 1438317, 5EXT248, TURTLET. 8 SNN018, 7 YJS635, 7 TVX677, 8 SBS200, 41467C2, 4 YGH160, 6 MGR645. Crossing the street at Plum and Holt. It's 12:38 p.m. and I'm also going to be seen on the traffic cameras. Those are the third parties crossing path and remaining at that red light that the state is controlling, and that is crossing path. That is the group stalking systematically through traffic while the state's light source remains, and that's exactly what I documented as I sit at the bus stop, and the state engaging in stalking with its light while they are systematically present. That is both the state directly and vicariously, by the way. This is license plate. No front plate on this black Honda Civic. 7WGW394. Crossing path exiting out of Metro 102 apartments. All right, 12:40 p.m. So as I walk up, third party crossing path, 8 LUV659, and again, as I captured, as I walk up what is Plum, after capturing the state's fake sun behind me, next to, above, directly above Enrique's income tax, the state's fake sun directly above the Metro 102 where I stand, capturing what is in front, which is the City Hall parking lot, the Senior Center, and 280 Lemon Apartments, even the top area, meaning the sky, where there is no sun present, because the state is engaged in stalking with light. And understand at this time it's supposedly over the very location that I took a picture of, which would be seen if this in fact were the sun. It is not there. It is hovering over me as I walk in that direction. This is the ongoing psychopath level stalking with a light source, as the state of California is engaged in criminal monitoring with communication devices. Third-party group stalker in position as the state is hovering over me in this parking lot of the Senior Center, City Hall, and 280 Lemon Apartments, license plate 5 SGP 946. That's P.O.C. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of what is the state's fixing over this parking lot, absent as I just took a picture of it moments earlier. It's 12:41 p.m. All right, 12:43 p.m. I did go ahead and take a picture of what is the state engaged in the ongoing stalking. Its light source captured directly above 280 Lemon Apartments as I stand there with my back to the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library entrance. And that is also the ongoing stalking of the state with its light source, as it keeps it on me everywhere that I go, step by step. And that is also in direct conflict with what I captured literally essentially minute by minute, the absence of any light source in front of me as I captured it from B&G Plaza, as I captured it in the parking lot, as I captured it at Plum and HOLT, where the light source is now present over 280 Lemon, which would have been visible in that in those pictures as I took images of what was in front of me, the state's light source remaining over the building where I sit. Currently, at the shaded area of 280 Lemon, in between the Ovitt Family Community Library and the 280 Apartments. That is the impossible light activity. That is stalking with light, and that is that which the state is engaged in for purposes of criminal monitoring with the people of the state of California. And this is the significance of the documentation that I'm capturing in images and video, showing what is real-time movement of this light source in the sky, engaging in all manner of that which is impossible to occur if it were the actual sun, and that is the also documentation of what is real-time movement of this light source, in the same way that the state is, understand, deliberately stalking by police, fire, and ambulance with the same deliberation, with the same hovering stalking conduct. It is the absence of coincidence. This through the light activity that I'm showing you, it is speaking to that which is entirely intentional and deliberate. It is that which is a hovering, obsessive, and highly criminal and malicious presence that the people of the state of California engage in concert with that state that is acting directly, and that is stalking with a light source in the sky. I captured images of what is the bus stop area directly across the field from where I'm sitting, and at this time I was present on January 14th, where it was directly above me at the bus stop of Euclid and D Street, and there is no light source there. It is directly here over the building where I am, following literally as I walk from B&G Plaza after it remained there for the prolonged period. This is the pattern of conduct, and this is what the people of the state of California are engaged in together. That is that which is of a psychopath. That is demented conduct. It is that which is pursuant to the state of California's criminal system, using both the third parties acting individually and understand each individual is part of one unified group, monitoring, targeting an American citizen, engaged in group stalking, which the state does directly and vicariously through the people of the state of California, using their company vehicles, using their whatever trade or uniform that they happen to wear to maintain presence, to create activity, to stalk with activity, and to molest. Understand they're engaged in that which is inherently sexually violent conduct, while they are repeatedly and routinely engaged in what is federal group stalking and monitoring with communication devices. That is the significance of stalking with light, and that is the ongoing documentation which is probative of that. And you are also understanding the significance of that which I have already published with regard to the state's light source that is engaged in the same exact conduct at every single venue that I have documented and isolated the pattern of conduct of the state everywhere that I go. It's currently 12:47 p.m. and that is literally documentation of the state remaining over the bus stop bench where I'm at, even moving around as I move at that location, just like I captured 24 hours earlier, remaining over a Panda Walk, moving around in the parking lot at the Ontario Village. That is the pattern of conduct. That's P.O.C. And it's 12:47 p.m. That is license plate 7XWT123. Flashing of light all over the shaded area that I'm sitting in at the same location where the state's fake sun is followed over in between the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library and over 280 Lemon Avenue Apartments. That's the identical behavioral pattern as this third party drives past on C Street and at the turn circle where I'm facing, and light is flashing. They do so with simultaneity to my operation of my communication device. This is the deliberate conduct of third parties. They are the vicarious aspect of that entity that is monitoring, and that is what all third parties are doing. That's just documentation of that one, as they are monitoring what I'm doing on my communication device. State's fake sun over the apartment building while they cross path. This is license plate 8LWM843, 8BGJ313. All right, this is entirely intentional and malicious presence while they're monitoring, just like what was occurring on Holt Boulevard. This same third party, 8LWM843, just making a turn circle. She's patrolling, driving in circles at the turn circle. Understand there is nothing over here but me. She's monitoring. The library is closed. Engaged in listening in real time to what I am documenting as to her P.O.C. Understand the pattern of conduct is what supersedes any superficial form under which she seeks to establish her presence. That does not matter. I'm showing how the state is engaged in monitoring through her presence and every other third party, where you have the incredible ongoing occurrence of flashing with light, molesting with light, light all over the surfaces as they drive past, which, by the way, is not occurring from any sun, the actual sun, nor is it even consistent with the state's fake sun location over the building. This is the pattern of conduct: molestation, touching, creating light activity as they are crossing path. Those are the elements of monitoring with communication devices, and that is P.O.C. It's currently 12:53 p.m. License plate 6DUD 546. Monitoring what I'm doing on my phone as I'm typing in information. This is the group conduct where they, by leisure, anyone that's present in the path, anyone who's closer, by the way, whatever it is with regard to their convenience, whereby they maintain that group presence and cross path at close quarters, monitoring with the entirety of the group. That is the amplification of this train. That's an ongoing means of stalking with activity and creating ongoing audible activity while the people of the state of California surround, and the state, again, directly and vicariously acting pursuant to that audible activity that the state is also deliberately creating. This is the documentation of what is the state of California maintaining a deliberately created environment for purposes of monitoring everything you see in here, everyone in the path, visibly, and that which you cannot even see because it exceeds beyond the immediate environment. The immediate environment serves purposes of keeping that activity ongoing and keeping ongoing light while monitoring with communication devices that spans a radius, okay? And that is also demonstrated by the state that flies at different elevations, audibly and inaudibly. The state that maintains presence in their state vehicles, police, fire, and ambulance, engaging in that same conduct of stalking with activity, not necessarily in front of my face while they are present. 7LJY334. This is the ongoing presence in the immediate environment while they are engaging in what is group stalking. And this is the documentation and the prosecution of the people of the state of California. Again, that is the vicarious aspect of this single entity engaged in group stalking and monitoring as a group with communication devices in violation of 18 U.S.C. Section 42A. (1 p.m. I did take a picture of what is McCarthy engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, acting in concert with the state, maintaining presence and relevant position while, mind you, the state's light source is planted over the building that I'm sitting at the shaded area at, and as the state is engaged in concerted conduct with third parties as they drive past, touching with light, third parties sitting on the opposite side of me in front of the library while this same light activity is occurring. Understand that's monitoring, while McCarthy is also in relevant position. McCarthy is a company vehicle while the state is stalking in all manner, flying, hovering over the Ontario Town Square as I speak. That is the state acting directly. McCarthy is the state acting vicariously, and they are engaged in criminal monitoring in relevant position under all the same facts. And that's just what I took a picture of. They are in relevant position, and that is P.O.C. 6JTB539. Crossing path as I use my camera. That's a new activity, new movement. That's the P.O.C. It's a third party that's driving on what is lemon in order to cross path in their vehicle for purposes of criminal monitoring. As, by the way, the state is moving with its light source. On camera, third parties are documenting themselves at the Wells Fargo ATM, which are on D Street. They are in relevant position, using the ATM as a form of presence in the same way sitting in the Andy's Burgers drive-thru is a form of presence, in the same way that going to the Wells Fargo Bank while I'm at Ontario Town Square is a form of presence, in the same way that lining up in the Starbucks drive-thru is a form of presence, while all the same facts are present with regard to the state stalking with light, the state stalking directly by plane, helicopter, police, fire, and ambulance, and while impossible light activity is all over the place, including onto my person, as third parties engage in what that license plate that I just recited is engaging in. That's intentional presence with simultaneity to my activity, while they maintain real-time knowledge of that. All right, that's P.O.C. and they are on the traffic, on the Wells Fargo cameras at D Street and Lemon. That's P.O.C. It is 1:02 p.m. and what I also took a picture of, which is what that third party was engaged in monitoring in concert and on behalf of the public entity that is the state of California that's operating this monitoring system, is a picture of what is the field that merely separates the Ontario Ovitt Family Library where I sat, and the state's light source was directly above me at that bus stop, and there is the absence of any sun over there. This is what was documented and published as to P.O.C. on January 14, 2021, where at this time I remained at that bus stop at D Street in Euclid. And the state's fake sun was directly over me, captured in picture and video, directly over me. License for VNA 108, and there is no sun. Again, the state's fake sun over 280 Lemon Apartments, and also as I move, it is actually in a different location directly above me, which I'm going to go ahead and get up and take a picture of that as well. All right, this is not being over Ontario Town Square. It has literally moved in what is migration north in order to maintain its presence as I move from the shaded area. All right, and as I take that picture again, as I stated, McCarthy engaged in the behavioral pattern. That is the demonic feature of stalking with real-time knowledge of my activity on my communication devices, using closure of their trunk, which is the creation of audible activity, as they are in relevant position, meaning in alignment under the state's fake sun, which I captured, engaged in real-time movement again, as I sit at a bench facing what is Lemon. And this is them using door closure. That's the pattern of conduct by third parties stalking with activity. Does so as I engage in taking the picture, like I just recited I would. That's P.O.C. And they are in and were engaged in P.O.C. as I was sitting at the shaded area and light moving all over the area, while which is impossible light activity, which is also probative of monitoring conduct, as I'm documenting the vicarious aspect of this entity acting together to monitor. This is McCarthy engaging in that pattern of conduct. All right, it is an identical behavioral pattern, and it is whether you are in your own private vehicle, and another third party's private vehicle, and a company vehicle, inside of any business, inside of any private residence. This is how a public entity monitors you, and that's McCarthy, with simultaneity to my operation of a communication device, engaging in creating audible activity. That's P.O.C. It's 1:05 p.m. This is license plate 79538X1. Third party license plate 5FRY926. DU28, I believe. And as I sit here at this bench, facing what is Lemon, the state is engaged in, like I captured in picture, literally moving its light source and aiming more and more light onto this bench, right? That's the pattern of conduct. That's the stalking with light. That's the stalker personified as well, okay? Creeping in, touching wherever I am, wherever I go, and remaining where I remain. By the way, 24 hours earlier, I was up west of this location where the state kept its light source. This is mutually exclusive to being in that position. All right, this is just ongoing documentation of what is federal group stalking and monitoring. The people of the state of California maintaining that intentional presence, just like the state is maintaining intentional positioning and location movement, real-time movement, stalking with light and stalking through the people of the state of California and stalking directly. This is license plate 8L6 457, I believe, substantially similar. It's a paper plate on a black BMW, driving past where this is Lemon, driving north on Lemon Avenue. That is P.O.C. exiting out of the parking lot, also maintaining intentional presence. The third party that just engaged in crossing path on foot. License plate 8HJB335. It's 1:08 p.m. SECRETS. Secrets. No secrets anymore as to stalking. That's what he's engaged in as he's driving that vehicle crossing path, creating light activity and audible activity and crossing path. That's P.O.C. It's 1:09 p.m. Seven RYB 945. That's a third party crossing path as I'm using my camera to capture the state's fake sun. She drives through the parking lot, speeding past. That's maintaining presence in order to engage in ongoing monitoring. Driving back here with simultaneity to my operation of the communication device. That's P.O.C. And I also captured that van in the picture. That is literal documentation of the video that I just captured of the state's light source, because that's what it is, as I walk to the opposite side of the parking lot of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library after it is captured directly over me, facing Lemon at the entrance of the library and facing 280 Lemon, which is supposed to be over the Ontario Town Square. Perhaps directly over me at the D and Euclid Avenue bus stop, remain for hours at B&G Plaza, literally captured up and down the street, by the way, and also nowhere near where it was yesterday as I remained at the Panda Walk, as I remained at the Ontario Village Shopping Plaza and gave a tour of what is stalking literally with its light source in the sky as I moved all around in that parking lot. That is literally movement of that light source in impossible manners over these buildings, which if that was the sun, I would not be able to capture it if it were actually the sun that was positioned over 280 Lemon. Not only the fact that I captured this very location as I stood at not only on Holt Boulevard, capturing this area where the sun was over B&G Plaza behind me, but also as I stood at Plum and took a picture of this same area. This is P.O.C. of stalking with light, and just showing you from every angle how the state is literally engaged in stalking with light. And that which is not only for purposes of prosecution, showing how it is a matter of prescription. That is highly demented stalking conduct and an unprecedented, unheard of, unfathomable manner for purposes of the people of the state of California who are engaging in the behavioral pattern of criminal monitoring, engaged in that same psychopath level of stalking for purposes of monitoring with communication devices. That is P.O.C. It's 1:15 p.m. and that's what I captured again in picture and video. 2:40 p.m. This is just to note the video that I just captured of the state engaged in the same pattern of conduct as I sit under the tree that is on the property of what is Laverne. Understand the state's fake sun is hovering over me on the opposite side of where it has been documented, which is remaining over Lemon Street, remaining over 280 Apartments, remaining over Ontario Town Square. It is on the opposite side of that building. There is absolutely no possible way that it is over Ontario Town Square as I am capturing it while the state is in that same video flying around me, that is patrolling around in helicopter, amplifying the sound of that helicopter, which is the creation of audible activity. Third parties in relevant position on the cameras of this venue and around the venue using their skateboards to stalk with activity. That is the ongoing pattern while they surround in the residential areas along D Street in the parking lot of the City Hall Senior Center, 280 Lemon Avenue Apartments. They're in relevant position. They're stalking. They're monitoring the state's fake sun on the opposite side of the of the library after remaining. Again, this is in direct conflict with every single location where I'm documenting it, and this is where it is right now, literally on the opposite side, documented it at over 280 Lemon Avenue Apartments as I stood at the entrance. Right, that's in the video. That is clear movement and remaining where I am, not even close to being directly over captured, as it is clearly captured in video, over the 280 Lemon Apartments. It is remaining over me on the opposite side of the library, where I am sitting under the tree, where the state is touching with light through the shade of the tree. That would be a shaded area. The state is still finding a way to touch, and the state is flying over my head in planes. The state is amplifying the sound of plane activity. The state is flying at higher elevations in planes, maintaining relevant positioning, while third parties stalk with activity and engaging and flying around me. That is patrolling via helicopter. It is 2:42 p.m. and that is P.O.C. That's the helicopter, blue and gray, flying directly over my... Alright, just as I stated in the video that I captured, immediately as I stopped recording on my podcast, immediately the stalker that is present begins, because it's already present. So it immediately, as I finish this last recording, this is a new one that I'm starting right now after I just captured this video. It is riveting. You need to watch it. It's 2:46 p.m. and as I finished that last mini episode capture of P.O.C., the state immediately starts flying over me at Laverne, flying over the building, flying over me in circles repeatedly, just like I've captured it doing over Food for Less, over Walmart, over Woodside Senior Apartments, over my vehicle, over, I believe I said Wells Fargo. Did I say that? Yeah. Over Ontario Town Square, over Ontario Ovitt Family Library, and now over Laverne, where I am right now. And with simultaneity to my ending my audible recording for my podcast, it immediately starts doing this conduct. Not only is that P.O.C, audible creation, while in relevant position, this is stalking at the entity acting directly. That's the helicopter, the planes, the police, fire, ambulance. This is the state acting directly via helicopter as it is listening to me finish recording, and then it begins the flying around in a circle. Understand, flying around in a circle is called patrolling. That's flying around just like any weirdo group stalker would walk around you in a circle, and you would be like, wow, that's really weird. What are you doing? That's monitoring conduct. It's called surrounding. It's called repeatedly crossing path. And this is what the state is doing via helicopter. This is what third parties do as a group. The people of the state of California are one group, and they maintain surrounding presence. Okay. This is what the state is doing directly as I captured it in video, doing it with simultaneity to my ending my audible recording of what is P.O.C. And this is not only engagement in criminal monitoring, this is a communication of a threat by the entity that is literally monitoring the documentation of its criminal activity, right? The same entity engaged in this expression of hostility while it is monitoring me through the third parties that I captured in video. His appearance clearly captured in that video while he's monitoring, and the state's fake sun is literally moving in real time. That expression of hostility, that's the state that's engaging in assault and battery. That's the state that's engaging in criminal monitoring through that third party, acting with all other third parties in relevant position as well. This is the state vicariously and directly engaging in monitoring and engaging in communication of that threat. That is P.O.C. It's 2:48 p.m. All right, I did just capture images of the state's fake sun, which is remaining on this side of the library where I'm at, which is in between what is the grassy area between Laverne and the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, where the state's fake sun maintained presence, because I moved on this side, which is directly opposite of being over the Ontario Town Square, which also, first of all, would not be visible from this side where I am at the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. In addition to that, you have what I captured in pictures as well, the state's pattern of conduct of literally attacking, creeping in with its light at any area that is not covered with light, while it maintains presence with its light source over the area. Feigning, if you will. This is the mutually exclusive conduct. This is the directly conflicting conduct. The state remains stationary with its light source for hours, while also at the same time engaging in that, also tries to feign as though it is setting in the evening, as though the sun is setting in the evening. It has not gone anywhere. And as that is seen, the light activity is demonstrating how the state is, first of all, remaining with its light source, but also aiming light in multiple directions, such that the shade which was provided under the tree's not moving. You're talking about light that is being directed in a manner such that the shade is moved away from covering. This is what the state does as I sit at the history wall, okay? While it is captured directly above me at the history wall, all right? The state's light source. While I'm sitting under the bus stop at D and Euclid, and the state's light source is directly above the bus stop at D and Euclid, okay? This is the same exact pattern of conduct. And understand, while the state's light source is captured directly over me just 24 hours earlier, over the history wall, wrapping around the history wall in order to touch all over my person with light, this light activity with the tree, the shade of the tree, which is massive trade, is now onto the wall, meaning the state is engaging in directing light such that that shade of light is moving what is north to be on the upper side of this wall instead of remaining on the grass, which is not occurring based on the actual position of the sun. First of all, the state's light source is present, but also the state is engaging in aiming light such that that shade is engaging in a constant movement away in order to touch with light. That's the pattern of conduct, okay? While, mind you, I did capture pictures of what is the state maintaining presence, acting as though it has moved, meaning looking as though it's moved farther away, when first of all, it has maintained presence and it is on the opposite side of the building after I captured it directly over 280 Lemon Avenue apartments with my back facing the entrance of the Ontario Ova Family Community Library. Moving as I walk on Lemon, walk north on Lemon to walk around the library in order to capture it on the opposite side of that same building. This is the state stalking with its light source in direct conflict. You're talking about minutes within each other. It's on opposite sides of the building, and I capture that at B&G Plaza, and I capture that at Stater Brothers, and I continue to capture that. So this is the state engaging in what is literally idiotic conduct. It is blatantly stalking. Not only that, you have the ongoing P.O.C. of the state circling above me, flying over my head in helicopters and airplanes where I remain here. And this is the impossible light activity that is accompanying the state's ongoing stalking conduct and acting vicariously through the people of the state of California. And so what I captured in the picture is the movement of this shade, which is provided by the tree. And this is the state engaging in directing of light. This is not occurring where the state's light source, by the way, would be over Ontario Town Square. This is not that which is going to occur. The state's light source is back here on the opposite side of the building, and the state is aiming light in more than one direction such that that shade provided by the tree is removed from where I'm sitting under it. That is the pattern of conduct as the state is engaged in ongoing molestation. The light activity, the state's treatment with light, behavior with light, attacking with light, intruding with light. This is the personification of that stalker, that psychopath that's engaged in criminal monitoring. And this is impossible light activity, the shade of the tree, which has engaged in literal removal, a ginormous shade that I was sitting in the middle of. And this is migration movement because of the state's treatment of light. The tree is not moving, of course. This is the use of light, aiming it such that that shade is literally removed and I am exposed in the state's light. And that shade is onto the side of the Laverne building. That's the P.O.C. All right. This is that which is not going to occur. First of all, this is not the sun, and the sun is not present over the middle of the Senior Center, City Hall, Laverne Grassway. But not only that, you have the state that is on the opposite side of the building and steadily aiming light such that the shade is removed from where it was captured in the middle of the grass, a ginormous shade area. And this is the ongoing removal of that. This is the state attacking with its light, intruding with its light, touching and molesting with its light. That's the pattern of conduct. All right. It's 3:54 p.m. and the state, I did capture the state's fake sun, which is maintaining its presence on this side of the library. Understand, in the morning when I walk through the parking lot, leaving B&G Plaza, and I walk through the alley, which is between the 280 apartments and the Ontario Senior Center, and the state is, I captured and pictured the state's fake sun peeking over the edge of the Ontario Senior Center. The state's fake sun is in that same location. I am engaged in moving around in this area to show how the state is literally not only remaining, but following with its light source. And understand that this is impossible for it to occur. First of all, it is literally on the same block. meaning it has migrated what is from being over the museum in 150 East Holt, then remaining at B&G Plaza, literally moving just what is west to remain over the same plaza all day long. And then not only over the same plaza, but in a different location over the same plaza. I am not able to capture this, the sun squarely over Ontario Town Square from where I'm standing underneath this tree between the City Hall, the Ontario Senior Center, and the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. That is not what I'm capturing, and my pictures and video clearly demonstrate I am pointing my camera straight up as the state's fake sun is directly over me, sitting at the history wall, while it is also aiming light, directing all over behind the wall as it remains squarely over that, which is also impossible because it is at that same location early in the morning, remaining all day long. Also, as I sit at a different location at the Ontario Town Square, it is, as I sit at the bench, again, as I've captured that faces Euclid, the state's fake sun is over what I have identified as 200 North Euclid Avenue. That is also not captured in front of me over the Ontario, over that history wall in the middle of Ontario Town Square. This is the state stalking with its light source, okay? And this is what I am consistently capturing. And this is the behavioral pattern, intruding with light. And this is what I'm showing as I remain anywhere. The state engages in attacking with light. This is one method of attacking, removing any absence of light and making sure that light is always touching. All right. Light is a weapon. It is a sexual molestation. It is also that which is serving that criminal purpose of monitoring by an entirely threatening entity. This is the attacking with light that the state engages in with third parties as they are present, an entirely threatening entity. That is the people of the state of California who are monitoring and consistently, repeatedly, routinely touching with this impossible light activity that is not even consistent with the sun, the actual sun, which is not even present where the state's fake sun is. That's not the sun, but also not even occurring if that was the actual sun above traffic, above wherever it is I'm sitting or standing. All right. This is the weaponization of light. And this is that which the state is engaged in. This is the pattern of conduct, and this is what I'm capturing. And so that is the picture of what I got of the movement of that shade. It's onto the wall of Laverne, and that requires the state is directing light. And again, the state's fake sun is a light source. The state is directing light in multiple directions. This is what I've also captured with having more than one shadow all over the place. The state is aiming light and molesting me with light on the front and the back, all around, everywhere that I go, and maintaining light all over the environment with its fake sun, and following with me everywhere that I go above me with that light source. And the state's fake sun is, as I captured, over what is the Ontario Senior Center, the Ontario Ovitt Family Library, not over the Ontario Town Square. Now, because the state is stalking with its light source, if I were to go, even though that directly contradicts where it is right now, where it's been for hours, the state will move its light source and be captured over there. So this is ongoing documentation of what is stalking with light. All right. A public entity is stalking with light because it's monitoring with communication devices. All right. In violation of 18 U.S.C. Section 42A, and it's doing what is massive monitoring in concert with the people of the state of California. And this is my being in yet a different location. That is in the field of what is the Laverne Law School, where the state's light source is captured after being directly over me as I face 280 Limit Apartments, and then on the opposite side of that same building, on the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, the opposite side of the Ontario Senior Center. It is well behind what is 280 Limit Apartments, where it was directly above, as I clearly captured that in picture. So that is P.O.C. And it's 3:59 p.m. And as I showed on for example, January 14th, as I left what was behind 402 North Euclid, that parking lot area where the Wells Fargo ATMs are, and the state's fake sun was over Euclid Avenue. This is in direct conflict with that as well. And in addition to that, as I enter in after the state maintained presence on Euclid Avenue over that same area where I was on the opposite side of the same building, which my camera clearly focused on Euclid Avenue, not Ontario Town Square, certainly not Ontario Senior Center, not the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. All right. This is that which is in direct conflict with what the state is also engaged in. Minutes after we were talking about within an hour, the state goes from remaining at D and Euclid to feigning as though it is setting, that this sun is setting while light is being aimed squarely into Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. Understand, remaining over the backside of the Ontario Senior Center, the remaining over this tree, rather, where I'm capturing it at Laverne, and it is 4 o'clock now, and this is what the state tries to posit with its fake sun, where it's also aiming light squarely into Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, such that light is all over me even while I'm inside at the entrance, which is what I clearly captured after, by the way, it was remaining over D and Euclid Avenue, all right, at the bus stop, clearly over the bus stop hood. This is clearly captured in video and pictures. And then also, this is documented presence while the state is supposedly aiming light, which requires precise alignment, such that it is aiming light inside of what is Stater Brothers 646 West HOLT. This is that which is mutually exclusive. It's 4 o'clock, all right? That was captured at 4:09 p.m. It's supposed to be inside of the, aiming light inside of the Stater Brothers into the depths of the store, and this is what I captured in pictures. It is all over the walls on the inside of the west entrance, on the concrete in front of the east entrance of that venue, and yet it is here, so close, aiming so much light that the shadow of the tree is removed, and it is up onto the wall of the Laverne School of Law, such that light, again, is all around, all right? No shade. This is the attacking with light. This is impossible light activity. This is molestation with light. This is stalking with light. This is the weaponization of that criminal instrument, all right? It serves a criminal purpose, acting in concert with the people of the state of California, who, by the way, are group stalking, even going as far as walking across the field as I engage in examining the contents of my phone. And that's the picture that I took of the third-party group stalker walking across the field, engaging in P.O.C. Third parties are grouped around, sitting on the benches at the city hall, like I said, in the parking lot, and they are in their residences along D Street, driving past, patrolling around. This is ongoing P.O.C. everywhere that you go. I am showing how they engage in group stalking, maintaining presence in close proximity, and that's on camera everywhere that I'm at. They're engaging in P.O.C. on camera. They are engaging in that group presence, while, mind you, this incredible occurrence of a fake sun and this light activity, removing all of the shade, moving all of the shade of the tree up onto the wall, and there is shade, there is light in multiple directions, by the way. You have the shade coming, pointing in both directions, while the shade that I was sitting under is absolutely removed. You have the light that is aimed in an opposite direction, such that the shade is casting all over the field. This is requiring light that is being pointed in more than one direction, okay, which creates light activity, by the way. This is a completely inconsistent light activity. This is not the sun, obviously. I've already established that this is not what I'm seeking to prove, because it's a scientific fact, and that's not a mystery in any court, where exactly the sun is at any time of day. And it is certainly not over any of the locations where I am documenting what is stalking with a light source, which the state is using in the form of a fake sun, okay? This is the absurdly extreme method for monitoring with communication devices, and this is speaking to that which is of a psychopath, and that is the public entity itself acting in concert. The people of the state of California are that public entity, all right? And that public entity extremely hostile to being exposed as the psychopath stalker that it is. And this is a matter of documentation. It is of record. I cannot make up these pictures. I can't edit them. I'm not editing them. I'm taking them and I'm putting them and I am publishing them. And the evidence speaks for itself, all right? So you cannot have it both ways, and you do not have the sun that is both aiming light such that it is removing shade. So it is so close, it is concentrating so much light, it's engaged in so much movement that the shade is removed from where I'm sitting, and yet it's also aiming light inside of which is again behind the library, but it's also aiming light inside of the Ontario Ovitt Family Library as I am inside of that venue. It's also aiming light inside of Stater Brothers, which is much more west on West Holt Boulevard, but it's also remaining present over 150 East Holt, and it's present in the morning as well. It's present over the museum. Understand that the state is, while I am here at Laverne, in this grassy area, it has not moved anywhere. This is not a sun, and this is not even engaging in conducts even similar to a sun. It has remained over the same block, literally, all day long, okay, where the actual sun is engaged in constant movement, rising in the east and setting in the west, okay? So even if the sun was present over the museum in the morning, it is nowhere near Holt Boulevard in the afternoon, by the way, okay? This is ongoing, and this is physical vision of these the sun in the sky. If it was actually over the museum and you could see it, if that was the sun, it is engaged in constant movement, and you're not going to see that same sun over the same intersection all day long. This is P.O.C, and it is absolutely extreme criminal conduct because an entity is engaged in blatant stalking. And this is documentation focusing in on that which I have already published and exposed and spoken to. I am focusing in and honing in on what is stalking with light and why an entity is doing that. It is because it is monitoring. And who is it monitoring with? The very people of the state of California, engaged in the identical behavioral pattern, okay? Engaged in the same psychopath criminal pattern of conduct, all right? They are psychopaths together, engaged in this criminal and demented pattern of conduct, which is designed to target an American citizen, monitoring with communication devices, all right? It is 4:06 p.m., and that is P.O.C. I'll go ahead and take another picture of the state's fake sun as it remains on this opposite side of the library in order to continue to aim light. All right, it's P.O.C. Okay, 4:12 p.m. I did capture images of what is my shadow appearing along the City Hall little history wall where they have the stores. The stars along the little history wall of the City Hall. Understand that is the state of aiming light, and this would be light that's aimed so low. If it's coming from a sun, the sun is so low that it is directing light onto the same building, Ontario Ovitt Family Library, but not at that corner edge, but farther down in order to aim light onto that City Hall wall, which happens to be where I'm walking. This is the same stalking with light conduct. I also just captured an image of the state's fake sun appearing over the same apartment complex, which is 280 Lemon Apartments, after being directly behind that building. As I captured it this afternoon, helicopters where I'm at the tree of Laverne, and it's over that same location. And in addition to that, this is just another point. It cannot be both here and aiming light inside of Stater Brothers, which would require it to be past Stater Brothers. It's much more west past Stater Brothers and setting such that light is aiming into that venue. But it's here captured directly over the apartments as I am facing them, walking into the parking lot of City Hall. The state begins flying over audibly as I capture that image as well. License plate 6KLA171. These are group stalkers acting with the state. Disengaging in group stalking. AU11N15, a paper plate on a black Mercedes driven by an African-American male. Engaging in just making a straight U-turn, group stalking and criminal obstruction, seeking to conceal their license plate, probably not even their car. I don't even know if that was a man or a woman. They're wearing a hoodie, trying to conceal their identity and the identity of that car. That's P.O.C. It is currently 4:14 p.m. This is 8SKF912. All right, when you're capturing what is a satanic system, the demons come out. It is 4:14 p.m. and that's P.O.C. It is 4:16 p.m. So as I walk down Plum, and that is walking south on Plum back toward B&G Plaza. This is the state's fake sun, not over 280 Lim Apartments, as it was also aiming over and aiming light onto the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, such that light was shooting so far, so deep into and onto the Ovitt Family Library building that light was aiming onto the star wall of the City Hall, creating, which I captured. All right, that's where the state's light source was. That's where light activity was created, but it is here captured right here, mind you, not far from Enrique's income tax. It is at the same location. Like I said, the state's fake sun is not going anywhere. It is not setting. It changes the color, aiming light in the same exact location. And I'll go ahead and take a picture of that as I walk feet from what is 280 Lemon Apartments, where it's fake, where it's captured. This is a distinctly different location, and this is requiring the state's light source to have moved south with me for me to capture it at this angle. I'm aiming my phone straight up to capture it, which is directly above. That's P.O.C. Got a third party just stopping in the middle of the street in the state's fake sunlight. 966-2S52-8BSC937. Traffic is not obstructing them. They're maintaining presence as I do not cross the street and I continue walking up Holt Boulevard. And the state is aiming light onto the street. This third-party group stalker sitting in that light, remaining in the middle of the street of traffic while they're monitoring. They're all monitoring. That's why nobody's honking, saying, oh, go for it. They're monitoring. It's P.O.C. By the way, when they are honking, it's intentional activity creation. It is 4:18 p.m. 46708 G2 7HPD 600 6VLP 376 7FIK 117 7100 0V2 I believe 8JYU 161 86968P1 I believe, substantially similar. As these third parties are driving west on Holt Boulevard, and they're in the shade, okay? The state is aiming light onto their vehicles as they're crossing path. That's light activity. That's the same conduct. The state's aiming light onto their cars rather than onto my person. It's the same conduct. Impossible light activity at the same time that they're crossing path. That is POC AW50T37. That's the paper plate. Excuse me? 8SHK 556 8TON 949 6WXG 457 26598N2 8GTP 829. Thank you. 7DGP 939 8FLU 736 8Z30414. The line outside of 150 East Holt. Relevant positioning. State's fake sun over the venue like it is in the morning. This is POC 6MJU 205 15734S1 AZ76W19 paper plate. Third-party group stalker in the driveway of 150 East Holt, creating light activity, right? Engaged in POC in real-time knowledge of what I am stating. So you have a third-party group stalker that gets out the car as the form for why they are sitting in the driveway in my path, creating light activity. That is, which is legally irrelevant, by the way. It's the POC 8LZW042. 8LOM510, 6BUM948, 8DBA099, 8NBM009, 8FTD121, 71172J2, vehicle number 50112, Quest Diagnostics, monitoring 28644V2, 6YJK711, 6YZS570, 6UXP338, 7XMG628, 5THZ875, 8KFJ148, 7BBM609, P903NO. They're all on traffic cameras at Holt and Euclid at a red light. Understand they're all monitoring right now. It is currently 4:21 p.m. This is POC, what you're looking at on the traffic cameras at Euclid and Holt. Specifically the northbound side. They're in relevant position as I am standing in the parking lot of 150 East Holt, and the state's fake sun is aiming onto this parking lot. That is criminal monitoring, what you're looking at. It's demonic activity, what you're looking at. 8RFD357. I'm gonna go ahead and get a picture of the state's fake sun as it's aiming on me. As it has literally moved far from being in alignment with me inside of Ontario Over the Family Library, or being in alignment with me while I'm inside of Stater Brothers, or being over anywhere near where I just captured over 280 Lemon Apartments, not even being at the corner of Plum and Holt. This is steady movement west to stay in front of me while I am walking, which is I walked south to walk along Transit while these third-party group stalkers at 150 East Holt are engaged in monitoring. 7K MS 757. It's 4:22 p.m. All right, I did take that picture, and let's be clear, I am facing what is the museum. So you have more incredible and absolutely impossible and extremely asinine light activity by the state. It's fake sun over the same area where it's supposedly rising in the morning, because it's there when I get up in the morning, and guess what? It's there right now, aiming direction in the same light, aiming light in the same direction over the same venue. All right. Hello. Excuse me. That's POC. Hi. Where's security at? Oh, there. No, that's probation. License BA78Y09. That's a paper plate on a Volkswagen. This is the state acting vicariously. Light activity, Ontario Police right across the street. 7AUU043. Hazards on in the driveway of the 150 East Holt, where the state's fake sun is present as well. This is 7UMB633. That's audible activity by a third-party group stalker. That's the license plate I just read. It is 4:33 p.m. 7RQA 892. And this is Ontario Police vehicle number 1825. License, this is not the Ontario Police license. This is a third-party license. 8JOH 546, 7GPX 745. 8JMF 883, 7GLP 418, 8KG 6515, 8KG 5. I'll have to go across the street. I can't really see that one that well. I want to get Ontario Police a license 1462881, sitting literally on the opposite side of the museum, where I sleep at night. The state that flies over me by helicopter and planes and stalking with sirens, like I described. That's exactly what he's doing. I just captured you another image of it on video, while they are visually conspicuously engaged in that which they engage in ceaselessly while they are engaged in criminal monitoring. 6GKG 656, sorry, 90630X1. Let me go ahead and get another image of Ontario Police. I did get a picture of that. 6BFC 354, I think I already read that one. Alrighty, this is a classic picture of the state engaging and remaining with its light. The abysmal failure, acting like its fake sun is setting while it is aiming light in the exact same location. This is P.O.C. And let me show you something else. My shadow appearing on this curb right here. What, 4:35 p.m. License plate 5YXY344 6H68086 4ZKN 726, excuse me, 8BES 456. The state's light is continuously aiming onto transit, onto the ice skating rink, onto B&G Plaza. Right? This is the state aiming light. Like I said, the fake sun is a light source. The state is aiming light in multiple directions, more than just that light source. And I have showed you that which is impossible remaining conduct with its light. This is while third parties surround and the police are engaged in that ongoing stalking, a sample of which I just provided you by Ontario Police, parked at the museum. All right, in alignment to the inside of that building where I'm using the bathroom. Law enforcement is present inside of 150 East Holt. The state's fake sun remaining over that venue, aiming light onto that venue where it's there in the morning. Yeah, I think I've established that already. So this is P.O.C. and this is why you document the entirety of that entity. AHWHILE, while, whatever, 5EZS 159. 7ZBU112, 5XXD895, so as I'm walking through B&G Plaza and the state is aiming light onto the B&G Plaza, you can still see my shadow. So as I'm walking, my shadow is appearing onto as the state's orange colored impossible light activity. All it does is change the color. All right, the state's light source has not gone anywhere. And this is clearly not any sun. That is 6G63314, 8LEK 885, 7ZDZ 684. I am back at B&G Plaza. It's 4:39 p.m. 8 NPK 476. Just escorting as I walk, just remaining in front, creeping in the parking lot, driving in front. This is ongoing light activity while they do so. This is maintaining close presence while they do so. That's group stalking as well. Everything that they do is intentional. AJUC 382. 7TAP 357, 7HCM 281, 7ZAB 348, 7CVM 789, 8FGX 483, 7RLA 000. And as I walk through the parking lot, which is nearest the SCHIRO'S liquor, my shadow appearing on those cars as I'm walking past, reading their license plates. That is P.O.C. It's 4:40 p.m. All right, it is 5:56 p.m. I just captured an image of the state flying over. That's relevant positioning. The state is engaged in ongoing stalking. The state is, as I sit at this bench, which is between the Ontario Senior Center and the 280 Lemon Avenue apartment with the Ontario Ovid Family Library to my left, which would be, well, to the left of the bench, which would be north of this bench where I'm sitting, facing the Senior Center. The state is engaged in ongoing patrolling via helicopter and aircraft. They just engaged, meaning the state just engages in audibly creating activity via aircraft. The state has been, since I've been at this bench, engaging in flying over by helicopter and audibly creating that audible activity while flight with helicopter, and creating light activity as I'm sitting on the bench. And so the street lamps along the sidewalk and along the property around are on, but what is occurring is light is turning on and off. This is light activity. The state is engaging in creating light activity on a massive scale outdoors. And again, the state engages in aiming light in addition to that light which exists. So that's what it does with third parties. As they're aiming their headlights and they're in your path, the state is aiming light onto the surfaces and onto my person. That's concerted conduct. And in addition, as I am sitting outside, light is turning on and off, and I am sitting around the Senior Center where the lights are on, while I captured what is the state that is flying over in relevant position. Moments following this creation of ongoing light activity, they're going on and off. The lights originally came on at 5:20 p.m. And since then they have been the lights going light activity, meaning light is turning on as though there's some, I don't know, I'm not even going to give an explanation for that, but light is turning on and turning off. And I am surrounded by the street lamps around the benches, and those lamps are on. All right. But as this light activity is occurring, the state is flying over, and that's just what I took a picture of. And this is just speaking to ongoing P.O.C. The state sounding its sirens while I'm sitting at this bench. Third parties engaging in that crossing a path with simultaneity of that creation of activity. As the state is flying over audibly via helicopter, third party group stalkers engaging in crossing a path at the same time. This is the ongoing group stalking conduct, direct and vicarious concerted conduct. And that's why I'm sitting at the bench. And so this is the state that what I'm documenting, the ongoing creation of light activity as I'm sitting outside at the bench. It's 5:59 p.m. and that's P.O.C. Okay, it's 6:16 p.m. You have a third-party group stalker that is stopped in the middle of the street / driveway right in front of me at the same time that the state sounds planes as I'm approaching what is transit at Lemon. This is license plate 6WST 571 with their hazards on in the street when they could easily just go into the parking lot. This is the pattern of conduct. This is stalking with light. Third party group stalker engaging in stalking with light as I'm walking to the museum. 8 MOR 869. 6 CMF 537. These are all group stalkers that are crossing the path at Euclid and HOLT. 7 WPO 799 or 7 WPD 799. It is currently 6:42 p.m. That is 7 TZM 261, 7 EDH 694. Third parties are in relevant position inside of the parking lot at 150 East Holt as well. I'm just loitering in relevant position, stalking with light while I stand out here at the street. They're monitoring, okay? This is license 8ETJ175. 8AYP141. No license plate. 8DJK 823. R455VO. 8HOY 710. 5NCF 682. The state flying over the museum right beside me. Okay, so 150 East HOLT, they're monitoring as well while I'm reading these license plates of third parties. And I'm also referencing the traffic cameras. It is 6:43 p.m. 8JZB211, 8HB1569, 6UTV 429, 8RQN484, 8MYB 624, 7 EGC 067, 8 YB, I can't really see that one, 8DB 725, substantially similar. That is 8AFX, something 56. They're driving north on Euclid Avenue. This is license 7BXE111. (61808T2). They're sitting at the traffic light right now at Euclid Avenue and HOLT and driving southbound on Euclid Avenue. They're in relevant position as well, monitoring. Omnitrans monitoring. Understand the 87 that you're seeing on the traffic cameras in relevant position, patrolling. Traffic is providing ongoing light activity while Omnitrans is also providing light activity. 87 southbound going to Eastvale with the license plate 13. Oh, hold on, I can get this one. License plate 1302442. And this is the bus stop where Omnitrans engages in systematic monitoring, amplification of its speaker while it sits in alignment to me at the museum, and the state is flying over by plane and helicopter, stalking with sirens. Omnitrans engages in that P.O.C. as well. This is the 87 stop, and that's what they're doing right now while the state is patrolling. And the state is patrolling vicariously through the people of the state of California. This is 7BXE111. Yeah, I got that one. 8 HIZ 074, 6XYY 929, 8LQF 472, 8 POA 489. 6 ZSM, can't really see the rest of that plate. Their plate dimmed, their license plate dimmed. That's intentional. Third party's off by now. It is 6:46 p.m. UPS crossing path in a large truck right now. While this is what Holt Boulevard is driving. They're driving onto Euclid Avenue, that turn signal, and UPS is in relevant position at the red light going northbound. They're monitoring. 6HNY 827, can't really see. 8JUV 254. 7FJP 478, 6NQE 513. BC 72J56, that's a paper plate. 8EDH 055. 8B04791. The state aiming light onto the side of the UPS freight truck. That's impossible light activity. KYNG KAT. 7TPS 793. 7G12957, 7HPG161, 6DQU685, 7WKF658. Stayed hovering in a plane over the museum while they are in traffic at the turn signal. This is what they do all night long, by the way, while I'm at the museum. This is P.O.C. At the traffic cameras. 6DQU685, I believe I said that one already, R940SO. 49561D2, 62851C1. I think I read that one already. It is 6:48 p.m. Let's see. Yep. All right, I am referencing the traffic cameras. P.O.C. State P.O.C. All right, I'm going to get these third parties that are loitering in relevant position in the county building. This is license 5CIY169. 4WST571 is still here. 8FOG160, 7NJN012, 7TJZ692, 8CMZ970, 5BAW276, N086CO still here. 266ZD handicap, creating light activity, loitering in relevant position. 8TJK103. 6CPA662, that's the state creating plane activity flying over the museum. 8SRK367. 9053B3. 41317 handicap. 8AGF057. 8HBR557. 7SML348. 8SVC 856. RJRDMD. 8TSX070. This is a San Bernardino County vehicle, and San Bernardino County is engaged in PLC 1535422. 8DYW809, 7AEG040, 8SVB007. Did I say 7BWC626? 6L46630, 6SEP486, D712SO, MY Heart JGS, Stalking with Light, 8NOT774, paper plate BC00B06, 8KKX703. This is the parking lot of the county building, 150 East Holt, where the state's currently stalking right now, directly across the street, hovering over the museum, and they are maintaining relevant positioning, as also traffic on Euclid Avenue is patrolling and impossible light activity. And this is LYNDILU. The red pickup truck that is driving west on Transit right now, and at this time, 6:51, turning north onto Euclid Avenue, crossing path, they're monitoring. It's a red pickup truck going north on Euclid Avenue. 6WBB276, 7LWL878, 7KQV180, 8HZP345, It is 6:52 p.m. All right, so at 150 East Holt, they are literally just maintaining presence, group stalking in that building and in the parking lot in their cars. Traffic is group stalking, maintaining presence, patrolling, and Omnitrans engaging in the same, using its bus stop in alignment while the state is flying over, and impossible light activity. 00283Z72, 7AIY306, BC44E63 paper plate, 6BGH681, I believe, can't really see that clearly, 7CRR734, 6RYT309, 23162K2, 5RZH559, FRVNCO2, 7VQV225, 7LCX453. Honda CRV in the turning lane on the north side of Euclid Avenue. I did not see that plate. They're turning right now, driving west on HOLT Boulevard and turning south onto Euclid Avenue, and the state is hovering over the museum in another airplane. This is license plate 7VQX609. 7PXC617. 6PQ G515. 6FYE 908. 7UMD 794, Omnitrans driving eastbound, Amazon Prime driving eastbound, crossing path, monitoring with every other third party. They're driving east on HOLT Boulevard, crossing path, all right? And the state is patrolling via aircraft flying to my left via aircraft. Okay, this is all P.O.C. This is group stalking and monitoring. The state is engaging in repeated hovering. I'm laughing at a pathetic third-party group stalker that is walking on foot in relevant position. Monitoring with these group stalkers. Did I read 6FYE 908? If not, there you go. 6PQG 515, I believe I read that one already. It is 6:54 p.m. 8RO, I can't really see that one. 793 is the last three of that license plate. It's a large truck turned east onto HOLT Boulevard. 5WRN 714, I believe. And turning onto transit, they're monitoring. Understand, that's all traffic. They're in relevant position. 6 TMF 441. 5 UKB 442. What time is it? Yeah, it's 6:55 p.m. That's the state sounding the sound of an amplified train. There is no train in motion, by the way. The state engages in this all night long, stalking with the sound of a train, when there is and when there is not even a train in motion. It's a means of stalking with activity. It is amplification, while third parties, as I'm reading their license plates, are patrolling, while the state is patrolling by plane hovering over the museum, by the way. This is what the state does all night long while I'm at the museum. All right? This is license plate 7LYF 177, 6EZG 934, 8 RZC 405, 51517J2. This is exactly what the state does at 435 South Bonneview as well, using those trains as a means of stalking with activity and monitoring at that venue and walking to and from that venue as well. And let me tell you what else. While these third-party group stalkers that I'm documenting specifically right now, while they drive past and I'm at the museum, the state engages in vibrating the sidewalk as though they're driving on the street, causes vibration. 22061J2. That's another marker of a third party, okay? 8 AFS 406. 5WGX 554. 5 NFB 743. Says third parties rev their engines, for example, and it sounds like a real throaty vehicle. The ground starts vibrating as though that car, under any circumstances, is going to cause a vibration of the ground, and it's not. That sensational activity combined with that intentional creation of audible activity, that's P.O.C. That's a third party. All right, that's the marker of a third party. This is why you document. This is how you document. This is how you identify a third party. All right. That's concerted conduct, by the way. That's what that's called, concerted conduct. Omnitrans, on the camera of Omnitrans and on the traffic camera is Ontario Police crossing path. Under the same circumstances, train is a means of audible activity while they are patrolling. They are one group acting directly and vicariously. License 7LLJ317. Third party at transit in a Jeep Cherokee on the opposite side of the street, southbound side, monitoring. Aiming light, 7HYF471, I believe, substantially similar. 8A95732. 5EPX 949. 792234T1. 8RJU021. 8MZM452. It is 6:58 p.m. Okay, that is 7LPX 916. Uh, 68555N2. 6:58 p.m. State is flying over by another plane. That's a paper plate. This is license 7GTY042. 6JJR069. So while third parties drive by like that, the state engages in vibrating the ground, like rumbling the ground, like that's going to cause an earthquake or something. That's a third party marker, okay? This is the people of the state of California monitoring with the state. It's the same thing with the light activity. It's concerted conduct. 383304. I can't really see that one. It's too dark. And I documented all these group stalkers in the parking lot, remaining in relevant position at 150 East HOLT. They're just loitering like cockroaches. They're all monitoring. 7XXUZ95. State flying over again in another plane. Over the museum. Yeah, and I got that license plate already. It is 6:59 p.m. Understand, I am merely dictating what the state does all night long at the museum. The traffic cameras are literally catching, monitoring conduct on camera. They are not just driving by, they're monitoring. 8 TRL 201. And you're also looking at demonic activity. All right? It is packaged as though it is appearing as normal conduct, and it is not. It's criminal and it's demonic. 7WHE 735. 7HNM 875. 6LPK 790. While you're looking at the traffic on camera, the state's flying over by helicopter, the state's flying over repeatedly by plane, the state's using the train as a means of ongoing stalking. Literally, as I move, as I position myself in my sleeping bag as I'm sleeping, the train automatically, like repeatedly all night long going off, sounding 7XKA279, 8SAX642, 8TRL201, I believe. Did I say that one? 8SHL682. While you're looking at all of them in relevant position, and they are intentionally present. 7DNG579. It's an ongoing group concerted conduct. 8FNV256. 6AFG899. 67611A3, I believe. Can't really see that one clear. It is 7:01 p.m. And that's P.O.C. Oh, additionally, one other note, is the state engaged in repeated use of the train as well? That's what I want to note. And that is hyper amplification, acting in concert with the third parties and the state that remain present, using the means of the train for sensational activity and for amplified audible activity. Literally within the last, I would say 45 minutes, the train as a means of activity 5 times. And this is repeated. This is just the same thing that I documented just the other day at 435 South Bondview. The train is a means, first of all, that's a means of interstate commerce that the state is using for purposes of criminal monitoring. But this is the repeated intentional use, the use of the train right here at the museum for purposes of group stalking and monitoring. So this is the train that has been engaged in, the helicopter, third-party amplification of that activity in concert with this vibration of the ground while third parties are revving their engines, and helicopter and sirens. That's P.O.C. Just wanted to add that additional note. The train included in this group stalking as I'm at the museum. Third party sounding that car alarm, understand that's amplification, that's intentional activity creation. This is that which the state engages in, this obsessive, this psychopath level conduct while I am at the museum, and they are engaged in this even when I don't have a phone on, even when I'm sleeping. This is the psychopath that I'm documenting. It's P.O.C. It's 8:09 p.m.